Okay guys, rain, sleet, or snow, I am back with another crypto video. And in this video, I want to get back to talking about like VeVe and ecomi. Obviously, I took a break from like posting crypto videos as a whole, and I haven't talked about ecomi or VeVe as much recently, mainly because I felt like there wasn't a whole lot going on. But again, it's still one of my favorite projects. So I still like keep an eye on it and pay attention to it. And I haven't sold any of my NFTs yet, but that actually is what I want to get into right now is actually how VeVe, obviously recently it's added the cash out feature that we've waited so long for them to add. I haven't cashed out myself. Like at the time when I checked, it didn't give my account the option to cash out. Obviously, I'm not in a rush because I know like they're gonna phase everybody in, so eventually everybody will be able to cash out. But I thought the way they planned on getting people to cash out was interesting. Like they found a way to make it crypto centric by allowing people to like cash out, get some Bitcoin, and then go from there. So I thought that was pretty smart. And I thought that was a good way to sort of remind people that yeah, this still is a crypto project too. Like so, because again, so often we were watching what they're doing, we start thinking outside of crypto or beyond crypto, but it's still in the crypto space. So I thought that was a good move. Right now, they're allowing like $1,000 requirement to cash out. I don't really think that's a big deal. To me, that kind of makes sense. But a lot of people apparently are really mad about it. I don't know why. Like to me, if I wanted to cash out, I would have already been able to met the cash out requirement. And like when I first got into VeVe, early last year, like I didn't spend a whole lot on those like first generation NFTs. Like I got a few. I didn't get a whole lot obviously because I've been super busy with like real life stuff. But still, I got some, a decent amount of first generation stuff like Spider-Man and the DeLorean for Back to the Future. So if I wanted to, I could meet that requirement, but at the same time, that's not really where my head is right now. I don't really think people should rush to do it right now. I think we still should wait a little bit longer. I think it's a better move to take a step back, save up some money, and then focus on over the next like 12 months. Now that they got the cash out feature, especially since some people like me, my account hasn't been enabled yet for that cash out feature. I think right now would be the best time to really like get back focused on just again accumulating a whole bunch of reasonably priced drops that come out, and go from there. Maybe if I refocus by like the end of the year, all of a sudden I have a much larger amount of money to cash out, which would make it more worthwhile. But that's just my opinion. Next thing I want to get into here related to VeVe, it's a video here from Kyle Wilson that inspired it. I took a screenshot here. This is a screenshot from Cavell Anderson and Kyle Wilson, but it's a video talking about Disney, they're tied to VeVe's, and also something that was interesting that I actually was unaware of because I was kind of busy was that for people who got those like golden drops on VeVe from the Disney NFTs, they apparently, especially the Mickey Mouse one, they got like a free year of Disney Plus. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting, and it's actually pretty clever marketing. But I'm just gonna read the excerpt from this from the screenshot here. It says Disney parks, experiences, and products brings the magic of Disney stories and franchises to life through theme parks, resorts, cruise ships, unique vacation experiences, consumer products, and more around the world. With experiences created by Walt Disney Imagineering, beloved characters come to life for guests and consumers of all ages. So I think, and also there was like a comic book, like one of those like Comic-Con type of events recently that VeVe was at again, and like this time their stand was more impressive looking, so that's cool. I'm glad they're making progress there. Something that I thought was interesting to think about, and this isn't confirmed, this is just me speculating, but I feel like I should get back into more speculating because I was speculating on shonen and like animes being put on VeVe like a year ago when nobody was even thinking about that. and then a year later, like I forgot which anime, but I know like now that's like something that more people have mentioned. Now obviously I'm not saying they stole the idea from me, but still I just think that I'm forward thinking enough to where I have good ideas that make sense that could come true in the future. So something I was really thinking about was, since they're already partnered with Disney, and since VeVe already has that option on the VeVe app where you could bring certain like NFTs to life, like you could, from your camera you could see like the NFT like just sitting in the middle of like your room or the street or wherever you're at. I was thinking like, what if Disney added some feature where it was like some like 3D or 4D glasses that you could put on, and it was integrated, it had a computer in it, and it was integrated with the VeVe app. And while you're in Disney World, while you're exploring the park, you're also seeing, in addition to like the people or whatever, you're also just seeing just all these different like NFTs of like these different like Disney characters like that. I think that would be pretty cool. I really do. Can you imagine if you're like walking into Disney World with the glasses on, and as you're walking down the street, like a life-size version of Mickey Mouse just starts walking up to you or whatever. Like, can you imagine, like, I don't have kids, but can you imagine how hype your kids would be if you came through like on one of the Disney rides, like on, I don't know, one of the teacup rides or the merry-go-round or whatever rides they got. If you go there, and while they're getting ready to sit on the ride, like Elsa from not Elsa, I forgot her name, the girl from Frozen, or like the snowman from Frozen just hops in the teacup ride with you. Like, can you imagine how crazy of an experience that would be for kids? Like, I think that's a pretty interesting theory to put out there. So, let me know what you guys think about that. So I'm gonna shift away from VeVe real quick and get into some general financial news that I think would still be very relevant to people in the crypto space. And this is a post here that reads, "There's a recession coming. The rich rush to offload luxury properties. The rich are now paying attention to prices and their income. Lament high-end agents in hotspots like Miami and San Francisco. It's pretty sudden," one said. "After a decade of feeling invincible, the tech industry is suddenly facing something new: financial insecurity. Valuations are down, layoffs are up, startup funding no longer feels limitless, and an air of fear has started to permeate the sector as bosses and workers alike adjust to a harsher version of reality. At cities like San Francisco, New York, and Miami, luxury real estate agents are starting to notice the effects of the tech turndown on their business. They tell Motherboard as wealthy tech clients grapple with the fact that raises, bonuses, and job offers no longer seem as inevitable as they did a few months ago. The elephant in the room these days is that there's a recession coming," said Carly Chinses, or I'm sorry, I messed up his name. So Carly C., a blockchain-focused real estate agent at Sotheby's International Realty in Miami. So I think that's pretty interesting to take note of. Because again, when it comes to a recession, when it comes to a downturn in the market, I think that many people like us in crypto and many people who are focused on investing in general could have a very, very big opportunity coming up. Because again, if we could mimic the moves of a lot of these big companies, we could make out like bandits. Because a lot of these big companies who are positioned right, what's the first thing they do? They pile up a bunch of cash and then just throw it into the assets that they want to throw it into. So it's something to take note of. This next post I want to get into here is a post that reads, "Big Tech is bracing for a possible recession, spooking other industries. Google CEO warns sunnier days are over as tech giant reports slowing growth and cut down on hiring." So that's pretty much like kind of a similar article, basically just trying to drive the point home that you're seeing the tech industry, an industry that has been booming for so long now, you're starting to see them get a little scared. You're starting to see them worry about a slowdown. You're starting to see things with them start to get a little tricky. So I think that's a major sign that many of us should be paying attention to. Next story I want to get into here reads, "Apartment and warehouse deals start to sputter as rates sting." With prices headed down and sales falling through, feels like a Willie E. Coyote moment for U.S. commercial property market. So Willie E. Coyote, or Wiley E. Coyote, however you say it, that's that character from the cartoon who would like jump off the hill, and they before they realize they're about to fall off the hill, they kind of just are floating in the air, and then they look over and like, oh, and then they fall. So I think that kind of is representative of where we are at. So I'm gonna just read a quick paragraph from it. It says real estate prices are sinking, deals are collapsing, and lenders are tightening their fists. Even commercial property darlings like apartments and warehouses, where values soared through the pandemic, are losing steam as interest rates climb. Yeah, because again, when interest rates climb, it becomes harder for a lot of people or companies to qualify, and then also, it just becomes it starts to look less appealing for a lot of people and companies. So that could cause that drawback. Next story here, it reads Blackstone draws over $24 billion commitments for latest real estate fund. Buyout giant Blackstone Inc. has secured commitments worth $24 billion for its latest real estate fund, according to a regulatory filing on Wednesday. And again, that's just like, if I'm not mistaken, that's just like in America. I think, if I'm not mistaken, like globally, it's somewhere around like 50 billion. But point is, they have a lot of money, and they are about to buy up a lot of property, and that's a little frustrating because just to see all these companies stack up on cash and take advantage of real estate, it's a little frustrating knowing that if they choose to monopolize the small housing, like the single family housing market, which is the most relevant one for the average person, because people need starter homes or they need to upgrade their homes if their family gets bigger or whatever. Like, companies like this could end up getting in the way because they're gonna own everything. You already got companies like America's for Home and others that own like a third of the houses across the country. So it's yet to be seen. They could just, like the Money GPS pointed out, they could just be focusing on apartment buildings and then using that as just instant cash flow to always come in that they don't have to worry about. But again, we just have to see.